Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Bellwether. I may not tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear so you can make an informed decision. Yesterday, the CEO of Quant Network tweeted out a statement that really got me thinking, and not too many people are talking about it, but it's a big deal. And we're going to dive into it because as you look at it, or at least as I look at it, it seems to me that Quant might be taking a page out of Ripple's handbook and they're setting up ODL, which is on demand liquidity, for their customers. Now, it's not exactly like what Ripple does for the banks, but as you'll see, and we talk about it, it really makes sense that they might be doing that. And if they are, or if they don't end up doing that, either way, it's extremely bullish and it's something we should all understand if you are involved with Quant or if you're looking to hold Quant long term like a lot of people are. Now, if you don't or if you're not familiar with what Quant is, I'm not really going to get into it. Go to quant.network, that's their website. You know, they call themselves basically the future of finance. It's an Ethereum token that brings interoperability to the blockchain to simplify it. It basically brings, Web 2 functions into the Web 3 world. It brings the centralized world into the decentralized world in a nutshell. Now, it's ISO 20022 certified, and in my opinion, it has probably or arguably the best tokenomics in crypto, and that matters. Now, this is something to get you thinking before we dive into the ODL side of it and then take a look at the chart. But a guy named Jono tweeted this out, and he's at Site Gains, and I want to give him a shout out. Y'all should check him out. But this is something to think about. Here's his statement, and I believe it may be true. It's a little strong, but there's a lot of truth into it, and it has a shot. He says Quant will be the world's most used token that's not a blockchain. And to justify that, I'm going to read this to you. It says Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. Airbnb, the largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. Facebook, the most popular media provider, creates no content. Instagram, the most valuable photo company, sells no cameras. Netflix, the fastest growing television network, lays no cables. And then Alibaba, the most valuable retailer, has no inventory. And so basically, he's saying that Quant is just like that. Even though it doesn't have its own blockchain, it is going to be the most used token out there. Now, another statement down at the bottom, it basically says none of those companies were around 20 years ago. So fast forward 5, 10 years from now, guys, even if he's roughly right about Quant, that is going to be an explosive, uh, token to hold. None of this is financial advice. Now, how does Ripple's ODL equate to what we're talking about in Quant? I'm going to dive into that. Now, if you don't understand Ripple's ODL, the on-demand liquidity, I'll leave a link down below to the video you see on the screen. Check it out. It's some good information. Now, the reason I said that they're setting something up like ODL and it is really, really positive is because of this tweet. And I'll read it to you. And it's from the CEO of Quant. It says, "We are continuously after tokens for clients as we are signing up new clients and developers. We have set up OTC and exchange processes to be able to buy from the market as needed." Well, guys, when you uncover that, break it down, that's basically, and I'm generalizing, what Ripple does for the banks. They don't have to go into the market because Ripple has a lot of tokens, 52 billion, I believe, in escrow, but they have the model, the business model that allows the banks to borrow from the Ripple escrow account, and they set it up and they charge them like 3 different ways. It is a phenomenal setup to just print money, and I truly believe Ripple as a corporation will be one of the most powerful corporations in the next 10, 15, 20 years with that setup. Now, it's not exactly obviously, but here's the thing that makes this so bullish that I really want everyone to understand and why it really excites me. Because it tells us a number of things. First of all, it shows how much confidence Quant has that it has a lot of future business coming, right? And it shows that they have a lot of growth. Well, they're front running it, if you ask me. If you think about it, it would make sense to bring in those tokens to supply to your customers. That way, just like what Ripple realized with the banks, they didn't want to have to buy the token and handle the security and the volatility and all that. Well, Quant can do that for them. It's not the exact same, but here's the thing, no matter what, that is somewhat similar and made me extremely bullish on Ripple and XRP. And before, I was somewhat bullish, but I didn't like the setup for the ODL. But once I realize what I'm about to tell you, I'm extremely bullish on XRP. And again, not financial advice. But here's the deal. When Quant comes in and buys from the open market, right, that creates demand for the token. Well, if they just set it there, right, it's cutting the supply way, way down. And it has what, 14 million tokens. That's it. That's the least amount in crypto, I believe. So, that is really, really bullish to think about it. Like any time that Quant starts to go into the market and buy their own tokens, it's kind of like Wall Street does. It's cutting the demand way down, and it kind of stabilizes it over time if you think about it. So I think it's extremely, extremely bullish. So anyway, guys, well, I was going to say that's all I got, but let's take a look at the chart. Now, as you know, if you've been following Quant, this thing's been on a tear for what, 90 days now. And if you draw that line right there, you could easily say that this is just a pullback. And me personally, again, not financial advice, I think it's got room to run some more. I do think it was over bought, and now it's made a good pullback. It's probably going to run a little bit more. I don't know. I don't personally get involved in situations like this. For me, for whatever it's worth, no matter what it is when I'm trading or investing, I don't chase the market ever. And if I looked at this chart, say last year when the economics were really good and they matched up with this chart, I would jump all in, I mean, big time, and do a swing trade. However, when my macro, right, the economics of what's going on in the world don't match up, I just stay out. Like if this falls apart, I'll start to dollar cost average down, but I'm waiting for something to break, not just for Quant, but in the crypto market in general. But when I look at a chart like that, yes, it's really bullish, but there's nothing positive coming out, with the economy. We're in a recession. There's so much going on that is negative. There's no reason for this pump to continue. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm not going to add to my positions. I'm just going to stay out of it for whatever that's worth. Well, anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. Do you think this is kind of set up like an ODL, and is that where they're going? Because honestly, guys, if they can set it up, it is extremely positive for the foundation. Now, being a foundation compared to Quant being a corporation, I don't know the legalities on that. They may not be able to do exactly what Ripple does, but Ripple's ODL model is absolutely amazing because, guys, they charge them like 3 different ways. And if and when, in my opinion, the XRP token goes up, technically the banks or whoever their customers are, they're not getting that benefit. Ripple's making the profit, right? It is absolutely amazing setup. But either way, this is really positive for Quant Network. This token, guys, I believe everyone should take a really hard look and maybe put some of it in its portfolio. Fast forward 5-10 years from now, the way it's set up with its interoperability and being you know a, in a great spot for the banking reset, and how all the other tokens, no matter what, guys, they all somewhat, it's like chain link, they're somewhat tied to Quant, or can be, depending on how everything's set up. But it is a really, really good project. Honestly, it might be, outside of, say, Ethereum and Bitcoin, it might be the best ISO20022 token to own long term. Again, not financial advice. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We'd love you to be part of this community. Either way, hit that like button and come back. Take care, guys.